To the folks online, we're going to give it about 5 more minutes to allow people to keep walking in. So we'll be starting at about 6:05. Check 1, 2.
Good evening, and thank you for coming out tonight to the Shaw Avenue Widening Community Meeting. My name is Renee Mathis. I'm the Director of Planning and Development Services, and I want to welcome you all that have attended here in person and those of you that are online to hear about tonight's meeting. We have some special guests here with us. We have one of our planning commissioners here with us. We have Clovis Unified. We've got City of Clovis staff, and shortly we will have some County of Fresno staff that will be here as well to help answer your questions about tonight's project. A few housekeeping tips. We have restrooms right outside the doors if you need them. We also have masks at our table. If you would like a mask, we're asking if you haven't been vaccinated to please wear a mask. If you have, it's your own assessment. You do not need to wear a face mask tonight. So tonight's presentation is fairly quick. Mike Harrison, he's our city engineer. He's going to be going over the scope of the project, traffic control, all the elements, and the timing. And then we're really looking for this to be an interactive discussion with you. We want to answer your questions. We want to provide you as much information as possible about tonight or about the project tonight. We also have a sign-in sheet. If you haven't already, if you could sign in, that way if we need to get information out to you after tonight's meeting, we have a contact and a name to send it to. So with that, I'm going to turn this meeting over to Mike. He is going to give you really a great overview about the Shaw Avenue Widening Project. So again, thank you for coming out tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks you all for coming I appreciate you being here. I've got notes, I've got a clicker, I've got a microphone. I'm going to be trying to juggle all three. Um, so what I want to talk about tonight with you all is the project that's coming up and the schedule. This is a Measure C funded project. For those of you that don't know, Measure C was approved by the voters in 2006. It is the half-cent sales tax that we all pay when we frequent our businesses. So as part of the Measure C, there were certain projects, including Temperance Avenue, Willow Avenue, Herndon Avenue, and Shaw Avenue, that were included as projects that needed to be done using that funding. Per the Measure C, Shaw is to be widened to its ultimate width from Sunnyside out to McCall Avenue. Over previous years, all the improvements west of DeWolf have already been completed, and now we are moving forward with completing the portion that's between DeWolf and McCall. And can everyone hear me? I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Okay. If you can hear me, that's all. The main purpose of the mic is so that web listeners can hear. But if you can hear my voice without the microphone, then we're good. Okay. The mic is on, but it's on mainly for just the web listeners. We were thinking that everybody could hear us in the auditorium. My voice doesn't carry so much, so we weren't sure about that. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, how's that? Can everybody hear me now? Okay. So, while Clovis is the designated agency for delivering the project, it really is a cooperative project between the city of Clovis and the county of Fresno. A lot of the project is within the county of Fresno, and we have been working very closely with the county on this coordination. So what the project is going to look like, we're going to be providing for 6 lanes of traffic between DeWolf and Highland Avenue. East of Highland Avenue, there will be 2 lanes westbound and 3 lanes eastbound when the project is finished. We are also looking at installing a traffic signal at McCall Avenue. We're still working with the county on whether this is something that needs to go in now or should go in later. And we will be installing a traffic signal at Leonard Avenue as well. So this is another look at what the cross section looks like. You can see there will be 3 travel lanes plus a bike lane in the first segment up to Highland. East of Highland, there'll still be bike lanes, but there will be less amount of lanes as you go east of Highlands on the north side. And that's because that part of the road is within the county jurisdiction, and that's in conformance with their plan. So there's also within our general plan a commercial center, and that's shown over here on this map. You can see that between DeWolf and Leonard, there is a commercial area on both the north and south sides. That is to be connected with a roadway that actually is underneath Shaw Avenue. So we will be building that overpass as we build this project. We'll be in a later phase of the project, but we will be building that as part of the project. So to talk about the phasing, the first phase we're going to do is between Leonard and McCall. The reason for that is we still have a lot of logistics to work out for the overpass, for obtaining right-of-way, and various items for the second phase, which is going to be building the overpass and that. So we plan on starting that project in the near future if we can get everything together. So here's the schedule. So we're looking at starting bidding by the end of this month if we can. And we will be under construction. It's going to take about 10 to 12 months for it to finish the Leonard to McCall segment of the project. Then next spring we'll be coming back with another project to do the second phase that I just talked about, building the overpass. And if we can work out the logistics of traffic control, we will begin that project late next spring, which is phase 2. So I want to talk about just phase 1 of the project because it's the most important project. So we're going to start the project. I check my notes. I want to make sure I don't skip anything. So a lot of you have looked at these diagrams. We have them posted on either side of the room. Staff from the City of Clovis will be available to answer any questions directly you might have for your particular situation after the meeting. So for the first phase, we will be closing Shaw Avenue from Leonard to Highland. And during that first phase, which will take about 6 months, the first part of the project, we will be constructing all of the utilities. We have to build a concrete box culvert for Dog Creek, and we will be putting in the medians, the curbs, and paving the project out for that segment. During that time, the existing roadway that's east of Leonard, that's shown in black there, is to remain open for local traffic. And the contractor will also be working on the north side of Shaw, clearing some of the existing fences and trees and things like that that are within the newly acquired right-of-way, and getting ready for the next phase or the next stage of construction. Also during this time, PG&E will be working on relocating the overhead electric utilities along the entire project length. So there will be some coordination that has to happen between the city and PG&E to get that happened and to coordinate with our contractor. I'd also like to note that during this time, if there is any traffic that wants to go all the way through, there will be a detour, and that detour is shown up in the upper left at McCall Avenue, up to Bullard, over to Leonard, and then back down to Shaw Avenue. That would be for the through traffic. Local traffic will still be able to get through the project as they need to. After this stage of construction, we will now open up the first part of it to the local traffic, and we will begin to work on the south side of Shaw Avenue, constructing all of the utilities, the curbs, the street lights, the paving. We'll pave that out, and during that time there will be a temporary road on the north side for the local residents to be able to get to their homes and get in and out. And then finally, in the third stage of construction, we will put, again, we'll put traffic now on the south side of Shaw Avenue while the contractor finishes work on the north side of the road. So that is how the project is going to progress. And I forgot to mention the length of the second 2 stages. The second stage is about 4 months. This last stage is probably a couple months long. So all in all, it's about 10 to 12 months of construction activity. And we're attempting to minimize impact by providing access to all the residents. So this basically concludes the information that I wanted to provide to you. Like Renee said, it's not a lot of information, but it helps you understand, I hope, what we intend to do. We are certainly happy to answer any questions that you have, and we'll take care of that in just a minute. I also wanted to point out that all of the information about the project, including contacts, and I'm going to go to the next slide, I put up here all of the key personnel for the project. This will also be on our website along with these maps, all of the information about the project that we just talked about. The PowerPoint that we're looking at will also be there, so that at any time, any of the agencies, you'll be able to contact whoever you need to. I'm very interested in trying to make this as painless as possible. So we have a lot of staff dedicated to making sure that we can keep things going smoothly. So, and if you want to get, you can, and instead of searching through the website, if you just go to clovisprojects.com, it takes you right to the spot you need to be if you want to look at this project, at the, not just this project, but the various projects that we have going on. So with that, I don't know if we have any county staff or city council members or anybody that wants to make a comment before we move on to questions. Anybody? Okay. All right. Oh, and okay, sorry. I know some of the people that are online probably couldn't hear that, but the Measures Advocate is here in case you have any questions online. Okay. North of Shaw, east of Highland. Okay. So well, hopefully you were able to see what we just went over, but access to local residents along Shaw will be accommodated throughout the project. If the questioner is asking about the subdivision that's north of the existing subdivision, there will be access by other means to Leonard Avenue or other means.
You.
Gentleman right here. We'd be interested in meeting with you to kind of talk through how we would take care of that. So if you can leave your information, we'll reach out to you real soon and talk through that. So that the people online can hear, there's a microphone. If you can talk into the microphone as you ask your questions so the online people can hear as well.
Hi, the traffic is stopped at Ashland going east at this point before Highland because Lennar's putting the track there on the southeast corner. Do you have any idea when Ashland will be opened up? Will it be closed at the same time that Shaw's closed? I can see that would be a hindrance to people trying to get through. They can't go up Ashland and they couldn't go up Shaw.
Well, there are a lot of things out of our control. It is our intent, and we are working hard with the developer to try to make sure that that is open back up before we start Shaw Avenue. And we still have several weeks before we actually hit the ground with the Shaw Avenue project. So I believe that will be open before we start.
way down here, excuse me.
The utility poles that are existing now, they're going to be moved, is that correct?
That's right.
Are they going to be moved closer to the residential section, or are they going to be moved? So they're going to be right up against the property?
So most of the existing overhead utilities are on the north side of Shaw. Those are going to be relocated back behind the new edge of pavement.
They're going to be what? I'm sorry.
They're going to be moved back behind the new edge of pavement.
Like I said, they're going to be moved closer to, from the street.
Yes.
Closer to the property.
Yeah.
And are the utility poles going to be all the way down Shaw, or are they just from on the county side? Do you know?
Well, it's that's sort of the drawback with the mic being on, but so if the existing utilities on the north side of the road, it's going to be moved north. If it's on the south side of the road, it's going to be moved south.
Okay. But there will be utility poles all the way, or it's just in the county side?
It will be all the way.
On Highland, is there going to be a turn?
We've had several meetings leading up to this, and I think it's left turn lane at Highland. We can get together and look close at these maps. If you look real close, you can see where the median cuts are and where the left turns are going to be. Maybe Fernando, you know if there's a left turn at Highland?
Hello. So there is going to be a left turn for people driving east. There's not going to be a left out from Highland. I think I talked to, yes, to you. So there is a left in. There's a 16-foot wide raised median along the entire length of the project. So vehicles wanting to make a left, they can wait until it's safe for them to turn, and they can turn into Highland. You're welcome.
I just want to verify the intersection of Shaw and Leonard. Leonard, for the first phase, that will stay open, correct?
Leonard Avenue will stay open, yeah,
Okay.
for the first
And then in
phase.
regards to this gentleman's question, why aren't, I don't know much about power poles and stuff, but aren't they building it underground? In all of our neighborhoods, all of the utilities are underground.
So as we do these kinds of projects, PG&E is required to relocate them out of the right of way.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
They're required to relocate them for us to widen the road. So as opposed to undergrounding. Undergrounding generally is not required until property develops to its ultimate configuration. So as property develops, as Bonadelli puts in his track there, that will be placed underground. But it'll be incremental in that way.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I think another gentleman asked my question, but I didn't hear the answer.
Okay.
The construction on Shaw, on the other side, I'm sorry, on Ashland, it's all closed right now on the other side of like Reagan Elementary.
Yes.
Kind of between, yes, to Highland. Is that gonna open? I didn't.
It is
understand
our
the answer.
intent to have it open before we start, and there's time for us to get that done. So
Perfect, thank
Okay.
you.
Next question.
We have a bus transportation for public schools on Montana and Shaw. And I see a hard closure for phase or stage 2. Is that going to be accessible for school buses, or should we deviate and reroute?
don't know the answer to that, but we definitely need to figure that out. Are you with the school district or? Okay. Yeah, we would like to meet with you and figure out how we're going to accommodate that.
Any more questions before we go to those online?
This is a continuing question from the previous online participant. He's wondering, with the hard closure on Shaw and the new developer Bonadelli, how will Bonadelli construction traffic be detoured? Will the developer utilize the residential streets to navigate around Shaw?
We- I'm not sure about that question either. It's our intent to put them on Shaw. They would be considered part of the local traffic.
I also have a couple other questions. This is from Jason. What is the soft closure at Soledad?
Can you say that again, Maria?
What is the soft closure at Soledad? Soledad.
A soft closure means that pretty much all traffic can go in and out, but it's going to say something like the road is closed ahead.
And I also have a question from David. Where will the detour be for Lennar residents at Leonard and Loma Vista?
So the Lennar residents, they have access out to Loma Vista Avenue and out to Leonard. So they would have to go that way. And like we said, it will be open.
And we also have a question from Chad. Will the construction on Ashland be complete before this project begins?
Yeah, we answered that one. Yes, we intend to open Ashland before we start this project.
Okay. We also have a question from Leah. Is Highland the only road getting a left turn? What about Margin?
Margarine, yes.
Okay. We also have a question from Todd. When is Leonard south of Gettysburg going to be scheduled? Is there any way to schedule it during summer break?
Leonard. I think they're working on that now, and I think it's their intent to finish that months. Is that right, Travis?
At Gettysburg. Oh, sorry. The road on Leonard at Gettysburg will be phased. It'll be split between the western half and the eastern half. So we'll be able to maintain traffic to the school at all times. It should cause little to no disruption vehicular wise towards the school. Yeah. Yes. So you know where you see the curb and gutter out there right now in the alignment next to the smaller homes and the apartments that are going to be built? That's where it's going to be widened to on that side. I live out there too, so. And as far as access to the Bonadelli tracks on 6304 and 6123, which is the north side of Shaw, west of Highland, predominantly those tracks will be accessed through Shaw, and they'll be maintained access at all times. There's no neighborhood that currently connects to it from the north. There will be a bridge that crosses Dog Creek at some point, but that is not currently built yet. They've just started construction on it. So there's no possible way for construction traffic to detour through the neighborhood into those newer subdivisions that are being built. So everything would have to be funneled through Shaw.
Have to keep going, answer any questions you have. Even after we finish, we'll be around here for you to questions with the maps in front of you so that we can, get your questions answered. Sir?
In stage one, what's the purpose of the hard closure at Leonard? Why not push it back to Highland? Or is there not the in and out traffic?
The main reason for that is we want to get that fully constructed so we can continue to move further east. And the big part of that is the box culvert that we need to install for the Dog Creek alignment. So we need to close the road especially for that. Main reason is for the box culvert that we need to install at Dog Creek. But while we're there, we're going to go ahead and finish the roadway so that we can move on to the next phase of construction. See that?
Question? I do not believe anybody from Bondelli is here tonight, and I'm not sure if they're online participating. Nope.
Okay, well, his project does touch Shaw. It's not really the discussion tonight. We're certainly happy to have a discussion with him about that very issue. See if we can make things better for you.
Once the project's complete, will there be any stops between Leonard and McCall? Or will that be a straight shot? Signals or stop signs or?
No, it'll be continuous. There will not be a stop in between Leonard and Paul.
Okay, we're off of Montana and Shaw, and I suspect getting to and from, or getting on and off of Shaw Avenue from Montana. I just was concerned if there's going to be a stop sign there so people could enter and exit.
So you will not be able to turn left on Shaw from Montana, only right.
You'll have to go down and then make a U-turn.
Right.
Or something, or-
Mhm.
Right.
Other questions before we go back to online?
Yeah. So the question is the signal at Leonard part of the second phase of the project? And the answer is yes, it'll be part of the second phase.
Someone online, Jason, asks, what is the plan for the opening of the firehouse as well as the park?
So our fire station is under construction. We anticipate that Fire Station 6 to be completed early 2022. I believe February 2022 is the estimated completion date. The marketplace, the commercial center, I believe this individual is asking the question on. It is the southwest corner of Shaw and Leonard. That project has made its way through the entitlement phase. I believe it is in for the first phase of building to be approved. So we should be seeing something come out of the ground as soon as those building permits get approved for the first phase of development, which I believe would be at the corner of Shaw and Leonard. We work at the speed of the applicant submitting their plans and then addressing any city comments that come back on those plans. I know they have been submitted, so it's as quickly as the applicant addressing our concerns and getting final plans approved. Typically, our turnaround time, first submittal could be up to 4 weeks, and then after that, checks, depending on the level of comments, could be 2 weeks or more. It really just depends.
Park construction, which is directly to the west of it, is started in February also, right?
The question is about Loma Vista Village Green. That's just south of the fire station. That park is currently under design. We anticipate the design to be complete in spring of 22, and then it would be approximately, I'm going to get that, a 1-year construction. Right. So if it goes well, we have a great working on that Village Green Park. Our expectation is that it will be fully designed and ready to go out to bid here in spring of 22, and then we'll start construction. So for those of you that are online and could not have that discussion, the question about the park to include the infrastructure around right now, that's infrastructure in the street would surround the back. Will have a phase of work under. So a few more questions. There's a round. All right, raise your hand. Everyone's helping. Thank you.
The construction that they've already started, the grading on Highland and Gettysburg, is that the Southeast Urban Center? Or what is it?
So the great currently on Highland and Gettysburg is for another housing development. It's going to be going in there. They haven't started full construction. They're just raising the area of the property so that, it's the flood standards.
So this is Travis. He's our manager at the city of Clovis. He's also a resident in some of this area. So he's here with 2 hats on as a resident. And
Trying to dress as a resident.
there you go.
I noticed that they're taking grapevines out on the east side of Leonard at Gettysburg. Oh. Okay.
Next question.
Project going on by Gettysburg and Leonard. Is that houses or apartments or? No one's said.
Huh?
The Matharu. I'll go ahead and take that, Mike.
Okay.
So actually, it's just south of Loma Vista Parkway in Leonard, so north of Gettysburg. That's a multifamily development that's under construction. Next question. Maria, but online? Okay, well, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and participating in this community meeting. And for those of you online, staff will be here if you've got questions, exhibit project, at least the first phase. We will be here to answer those questions. Got your contact information. We owe a response back on Bonadeli. We'll look into that and get back to you. Again, we had a few more staff members from the other agencies in, and I want to, provide appropriate notification. So I know you're with Senior Unified. Can we get your name, please?
Yes, my name's Jimmy Robles, Senior Director of Support Services.
Thank you for being here tonight. Again, we have one of our planning commissioners. He's here. We've got Denver Stairs with Clovis Unified. We're in with, I know we were hoping for Nathan and Steve. I see they did not get tonight, but we were hopeful that they would be here. Got plenty of staff members here. You met Fernando and Mike. We've got Thad Avery, our CIP manager. We've got planning staff here. Dave Merchant, our city planner. Ricky, our senior planner. So there's plenty of staff here to answer your questions. So please don't be shy. And I left the most important person out, John Holt, our assistant city manager. So again, thank you for coming tonight. And here, other questions you may have. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. It ranged far and wide.